What's going on, guys? Robert Garcia back here with another video on the Lockdown Defense Sports Network. And today, or this week of videos, I should say, we're going to be doing our 7-round mock drafts for each of our teams. I believe Coach Mike Dubb's video should be up yesterday when this inevitably gets posted on Tuesday. And he will be doing the Commanders, of course. I will be rocking, as you can see in the background, the Chargers, my hashtag no elevators hat in the powder blue. Let's get right into it. So I adjust things here a little bit. I really like this UI. This is the NFL mock draft simulator that I use. The NFL mock draft database simulator is what it's called. This is probably one of the best free, completely 7-round free mock draft sites that I've used. Obviously has ads, has, some things that can get a little bit annoying, but as far as being able to do full 7-round mock drafts, I really haven't seen any other free websites to use. Obviously, the most popular one is the PFF one, but have to be a member for that one to unlock the full 7 rounds. I think you only get 3 with the free version of it. But either way, we are going to be diving into this one. And starting off, looking at all the Chargers picks, obviously our first pick at 22, last one 256. We have 10 total picks this year. Our first 5 rounds are normal, and then all of our extra picks come in the 6th and 7th round. So not a whole lot of ammunition, but still 10 draft picks. And I mean, we saw what Ortiz did last year with the with that draft class, and obviously Joe Alt and Ladd McConkey headlining it. But to find 2 starting caliber cornerbacks in the 5th round is amazing. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what he's going to do with this year's draft class. But as I digress, let's get underway here and start us off with the Tennessee Titans taking Shedeur Sanders, followed by Jalen Walker, Cam Ward. Obviously, all these picks are going to be, pretty close. I think obviously there's some things that'll happen here. Like I don't think Travis Hunter is going to fall to the Bears. Obviously things in this aren't perfect, but it is what it is. We try to work with what we have. And as we approach here, going to be rejecting all these trade offers. We may be doing another mock draft in the future with trades, but for right now, I'm just going to be doing a 7-round mock draft with all of our picks, not trading up or down. So based on where we're at here with 22, looking at what we have available, Jihad Campbell's falling here, Malachi Starks, he fell pretty big in our mock draft that we did, the hit squad. But I'm looking right here at number 22. This is one of my premier defensive linemen that I'm looking for the Chargers to pick up, and it just makes so much sense. Kenneth Grant from Michigan, Harbaugh guy. I mean, it's almost a perfect fit. Chargers need interior D-line bad, letting go of Poona Ford in free agency. Need someone to fill that run stuffing gap. And I think Kenneth Grant can fill into that slot nicely, as it's a little bit before our second pick, still 33 picks away as we watch the draft unfold. Still see Jackson Dart as he goes to Atlanta there. Definitely don't see that happening. Like I said, it's not entirely accurate. Obviously, it doesn't go for teams' needs as all the times you can see. But with the way it fell to us here and looking at it, we still have Jack Sawyer available. A lot of Ohio State guys, Quashon Judkins, Tyleik Williams. So a lot that we can go here. Still Mason Taylor down there as well, LSU. Tight end. But judging on where this fell, and obviously the Chargers, with Kenneth Grant addressing that D-line, I don't think they would spend 2 picks in a row on the D-line. So I do believe like Jack Sawyer is probably off the board here. I think Tyleik Williams probably off the board here. Quashon Judkins is a really interesting option. We've talked a lot about the Chargers going running back potentially in the 1st round, but if you guys caught our mock draft that we did last week, it showed that the running backs went very quick, and we actually saw 2 running backs go in the 1st round. I won't spoil whose picks they are. They were mine. But, it's just something that I feel like could definitely happen, and the Chargers should definitely be prepared for it if it does. But with Quashon Judkins here at 55 available, it is a nice value pick. Obviously, he's rated 48 here on the draft. I think this is definitely the move for the Chargers. barring us re-signing J.K. Dobbins, which I just don't think is going to happen. I think this is the move for us with our first 2 picks. So that being said, it will go Quinshon Judkins here. A little bit of Michigan-Ohio State rivalry with our back-to-back picks. Saw that a little bit. Talked about it a little bit, obviously, with JK. So we're switching out one Ohio State running back for another, and obviously going with the younger Judkins. Oh, excuse me. As we continue to move on with this draft, though, Slater going to Dallas, I'm starting to look kind of more so offensively. I definitely want us to add some more weapons for Herbert. I would have liked to see us get a tight end. However, and there's Scadaboo and Caleb there. As I mentioned, a lot of great running backs in this draft. This is a very running back draft heavy class. So I could definitely see the Chargers maybe waiting till the second round, maybe even possibly the third round to pick up one of these 2 guys if they're still on the board at 86. I highly doubt it, but you never know. We've seen weird things happen in the draft. Just based on where we are here, obviously it's going to be recommending us Harold Fannin because we need a tight end. I really am looking at Marcus Mbo here. More interior O-line. Obviously the Chargers brought in Mekhi Becton from the Eagles. You still have Slater. You still have Alt at the tackle positions there. Re-signed Bradley Bozeman to a 1-year kind of backup deal. So I definitely think we can still be going interior offensive line, I should say, in this draft. And if Marcus Mbo is still somehow here at 86, I mean, this is just an absolute steal of a pick, kind of just looking down a little bit. There's some other nice names here. Savion Williams, I know a lot of people love him out of TCU, coach defense being one of them. Chris Paul, what are you doing here? Either way. But yeah, I definitely like Savion, although I think it's a bit of a reach if we were to take him with these guys on the board. So I will be going with Marcus Mbo here. I think, off the 3 picks, these are very Harbaugh-esque picks: defensive line, offensive line, running back. I mean, that just screams Harbaugh on every facet. I think the Mike Williams signing is a good one. I would like to see us still address the wide receiver room a little bit more. But I do think that bringing him in kind of brings or takes us taking a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds off the board. Unless T-Mac fell to us, but even then, I really don't feel like Harbaugh is going to reach for that. Wouldn't be a reach, but I just don't feel like Harbaugh is going to be going wide receiver in the first 2 rounds in back-to-back drafts. It just does not seem like the Harbaugh way. But as we approach here to now our 4th pick, and this is obviously as we now get into the day 3 picks here, it's a lot of it. As much as everybody can tell you, you could do as much research as you can, and there really are, bona fide studs later in this draft that, scouts and people find and know they're going to be good. And I tip my hat to them, man, because it's a very difficult job evaluating draft positions and draft players. But as I mentioned, we could still use a tight end. So Gunnar Helm here at 100 or at the 100 ranked. Our 4th pick would be a nice pick here. Just kind of scrolling down a little bit. There's Savion Jones out of LSU. But yeah, I think, like I said, I want to give Herbert another weapon. We could very well make a draft day trade. I just don't see that happening for one. Ortiz could absolutely surprise me, but I just don't see it happening. So we are going to be taking Gunnar Helm here, giving Herbert a little bit of extra help on offense. That security blanket-esque tight end. And as we continue on with the draft here, I'm really liking the way this is playing out so far. Really, the only thing I'm looking for are just positions to be targeted. I can't talk down or talk up certain players. My knowledge is really only in the first 3 rounds, as most people's are. The top 100, 120 picks, whatever it may be. There's a few names, I know just kind of out of the back, way left field that I just kind of heard through the grapevine, heard certain people reporting on. But, for the most part, you really are just kind of hoping and praying with a lot of these picks. You're looking at school rep, you're looking at, how do they play with the playing time that they did get. It's a really difficult thing to do. But as we look here now with our 5th round pick, Obviously, we've addressed the D-line, interior O-line, running back and tight end position. I think we still are looking for some more cornerback help. Obviously, I mentioned Cam Hart and Tarheeb Still that were drafted last year in the 5th round. But I do think with Cam Hart's injury concerns, concussions, I should say, I don't know how much we can trust that he's going to stay healthy. As much as we love him as Chargers fans, it's tough. There's these things you have to plan for him with. I believe he's already had 3 or 2 concussions already in just his rookie year. That's a little bit concerning. It's a little bit concerning. So I'm going to be going with Zy Alexander here from LSU, cornerback out of LSU. LSU, top tier school, maybe a little bit in my Tom Telesco era with that about just picking players just based on where they went. But as I mentioned, I don't have a ton of information on some of these guys. Really, the running backs more so, as I see Devin Neal there. He was one of my sleeper guys that I talked about. So just looking at this, it'd be hilarious to take Dylan Gabriel here, man. That would throw Charger fans into a loop, huh? But looking here, there's Trevor Etienne down there as well. Wouldn't mind taking an edge down here. Tyler Byron here from Miami. This could be another wide receiver slot as well later in the draft, another day 3 pick. But I think after going cornerback in the last round, honestly, I love Devin Neal's game. If we were to take him here with 181, I would not be mad at all. I know we took another quarterback already in Judkins, but I mean, it's just a position that you can never have enough at. These running backs that come into the league, a prime year for a running back is basically the first 4 years in the league. Running backs is the only position in the NFL I feel like where, you enter the league in your prime. We saw it with Zeke. We see it with a lot of other running backs as well. Now there's obviously a lot of busts, and there's always going to be that. But I feel like, especially with the declining value of running backs, I should say, although Saquon did help that a little bit this past year, I think picking up a Devin Neal here would be a fantastic pick, even with the Quishon Judkins pick. Yeah, I really like this move for us a lot. As we're already here, on to our next pick. I believe this is our 2nd pick in the 6th round. Probably wouldn't mind going wide receiver here, more interior O-line. Harbaugh loves his interior O-linemen. But I think Tyler Barron here still on the board is a nice solid pick at edge rusher, basically at 200. Like I said, a lot of these players, I should say, are not going to be available when they're here. But it is what it is. So as we look a little bit more, I really like Malachi Moore. I think him at 209, this is a really great pick, actually. Safety, someone to pair potentially opposite of Derwin. We did sign Elijah Molden to a 3-year contract in the offseason. But like I said, just another piece for Minter to play with. And as we get into like these last 2 picks now, this is where pretty much I'm completely out of it. I'm some of the players here, I'm basically just going to be going for position at this point. So as we look here, could use more interior O-line, obviously, linebacker, but just based on what's available here. Man, you know what? We haven't taken a wide receiver yet. I'm going to go with Ricky White out of UNLV. Shout out to UNLV. My childhood friend, his name is Noah, went out there, played for UNLV for a couple of years, playing football. So I have a little place for UNLV in my heart. That's a little bit of a homer pick there. I did watch a little bit of Ricky White when he was with UNLV. Now, obviously, it's a smaller D1 school, but there are some studs that could be found in those lesser known schools at least. And as we round out the draft here, kind of looking at what we've taken so far, we've addressed the D-line, addressed the running back room twofold, more interior O-line, more help for Justin Herbert on the offensive side of the ball, trying to find some potential starting talent in the secondary later on. Edge rusher is always good to take. And as we approach here, our last pick of the draft, 256, I think this is the last pick or second to last pick in the entire draft. I didn't realize that in KC holds the Mr. Irrelevant pick. So as we're just going off here, this is really, it could be anything. So we'll just go with the position that is always a Harbaugh favorite in terms of, in terms of depth, and that is going to be Howard Cross the third. So that's going to be the draft, guys. Taking Kenneth Grant, Harbaugh guy, out of Michigan with the first pick, followed by Quinshon Judkins, running back out of Ohio State with the number 2. Marcus Mbo, the interior O lineman out of Purdue. Gunnar Helm, the tight end out of Texas. Zy Alexander, the cornerback out of LSU. Devin Neal, one of my personal favorites in this draft, running back out of Kansas. Tyler Barone, edge out of Miami. Malachi Moore, the safety from Alabama. Ricky White, the UNLV wide receiver. And our Mr. Irrelevant, Howard Cross the third, rounding out this draft class, the D lineman from Notre Dame. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this mock draft in the comments below. As I mentioned, a lot of the stuff that's going to be happening here probably isn't realistic. You know, a lot of trades are going to happen. Teams are going to move up. Players are going to fall. Guys are going to get taken earlier than they should have. A lot of reaches will happen, but that's just the fun of it. I think we all love the idea of mock drafting. It's almost kind of like March Madness brackets in a way. You know that there's going to be picks that don't make sense. There's going to be trades. There's going to be guys that go way earlier than they should. But I mean, that's what makes it fun. It's the fun of the unknown, I should say. What's the word I'm looking for? The idea of the unknown is exciting because, anything could happen. So with that being said, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. Once again, don't forget to hit comment. Don't forget to hit comment. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And check out all of our other videos that we're going to be posting this week. Have a ton of mock drafts coming out. Our 7-round full team mock drafts for Chiefs, Chargers, Commanders fans. So very exciting this week. And as we get into April, I believe this is going to be uploaded on April 1st. It's officially draft month, guys, so we're excited. There's going to be a lot of talking happening, a lot of trades, a lot of big-time moves are going to happen, and we are going to be here covering it all. As I mentioned, please give us your thoughts in the comments below, and we will see you guys when we do draft day. It's going to be a fun day indeed. That'll do it for me. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.